Historically black colleges and universities have long been a pillar of the African-American community, providing a safe place for students to learn when they were barred from studying because of the color of their skin. Despite proof of their success and value, they still face some unique challenges, one of them funding. While it impacts many HBCUs, St. Augustine's University is at a tipping point, with a long legacy now in serious peril. ABC's Morgan Norwood traveled to North Carolina, where the university's president is now hoping for a miracle.
For me, it was pretty much a no-brainer. Still not really understanding at that time the magnitude of what a HBCU can do for my life. I was going to use this opportunity to manifest who Marcus Burgess was going to become.
These are the moments that make Dr. Marcus Burgess proud to be an HBCU graduate.
You have to think that at one point or another, there were no other options for African Americans.
But it's the legacy, the representation, and history that makes Dr. Burgess even more proud to be the president of a historically black college.
We do a great job of opening up the world for students that it may have been closed off from.
This is St. Augustine's University in Raleigh, North Carolina, founded in 1867.
The chapel, this building right here, those rocks were brought from the rock quarry. These buildings were built by faculty, staff, and students. When you think about who we produce, you have 40% of black engineers, 50% of black teachers, 70% of black doctors and dentists, and 80% of black judges.
St. Aug is just one of 11 HBCUs in North Carolina. Just 25 miles northwest is North Carolina Central University, founded in 1910.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Dr. David Jackson is provost and vice chancellor.
Let's just chat.
And a historian at heart.
Barriers were very rigid, and so really out of necessity, African Americans created parallel institutions, not just in terms of churches and businesses, but also educational institutions.
Yeah, what were those challenges back then, and would you say that they're the same today?
Some of them certainly overlapped, but the need for financial support, the need to maintain infrastructure, the need to recruit talented faculty, I think those things remain the same.
And while Central's finances are secure,
That's where our provost offices are.
at St. Aug, the funding to further that vision is fading.
I'm looking at this 6-story building right here, our girls' dorm. It needs a new boiler. So I have 2 outdated dorms that really need to be torn down and built up to code.
St. Aug is struggling to keep the doors of the school open.
When I got the call in December, somewhere in that timeline, that the accreditation was lost, what I considered coming as the interim president, I didn't hesitate.
So you inherited this.
According to SACS, the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges, the university's accreditation is on hold over financial and governance issues. The institution was put on probation, and in response, the university sent a letter of arbitration to SACS on March 11th.
It gave us 90 days. So within that 90 days, we're still accredited. It allows our seniors to graduate from an accredited institution.
What went wrong here? And I know this was before your time, but what's your understanding of how we got to this point?
The biggest piece starts with our missing audits from 21, 22, and 23. A $34 million budget, there was only $130,000 that can be accounted for. So a new finance team was brought in, and they literally had to recreate all of those financials, and it took them about 2 years to do that.
Would you go as far to say that this was mismanagement?
Oh, most definitely.
The university tells ABC News they've since parted ways with the finance department that would have been responsible for the alleged mismanagement. We also reached out to the attorney for former university president Dr. Christine McPhail, who in a statement said, "We are not at liberty to discuss the financial situation at St. Augustine's University," adding, "It is our position that St. Augustine's termination of Dr. McPhail's employment was unrelated to the school's financial situation." But despite who's to blame, the financial woes are extensive. According to federal tax documents obtained by ABC News, the IRS hit the university with a nearly $7.8 million tax lien for unpaid payroll taxes dating back to 2020.
I have payroll that we're about to miss the third payroll.
So you have staff that have not been paid.
Have not been paid. But they still fight for this institution. They still teach our students. They want to see this class get to the graduation day, but they are hurting.
What do you say to them?
Whew. I'm sorry. Thank you. Be angry with them, but they continue to teach. They continue to work in spite of.
Since this interview in March, employees have continued to go without a paycheck, including Dr. Burgess. There's a ripple effect to this crisis. If St. Aug loses accreditation, 85% of students lose financial aid.
Transferring is just not something I would have ever thought, but I'm still thinking about it. Nothing is really finalized right now.
I really hope that something can happen because all my peers are confident that this school will remain strong and stay open.
St. Aug needs to raise close to $32 million in order to pay its debtors and keep the doors open. Historically Black universities and institutions, both private and public across the country, are historically underfunded due to state and federal underinvestment, lower endowments, and less alumni support.
Alumni giving is very, very critical, and that's an area where all of our institutions could stand to perform better. Generationally, African Americans are just getting to a point where they have generational wealth that can be passed to an institution.
America's HBCUs have faced a number of recent challenges. In a complete overhaul, state lawmakers in Tennessee stripped Tennessee State University of its board during the height of a funding crisis. And in Mississippi, lawmakers proposed a bill that would have shuttered the state's only public HBCUs.
There are a lot of other St. Augustines around this country, around this world.
With time running out, employees unpaid, and students in limbo, St. Augustine's University is in desperate need of a miracle. And though they've had an outpouring of support from alumni, community donations, it's hardly enough.
We need capital. Cash is king. I don't want to have to sell any of our land.
Yeah.
Because in the Black community, in African American community, we know how hard it's been to get this land.
Dr. Burgess can visualize the future success of St. Aug.
We are thankful for the alumni and community who brought food and support.
He's hoping others can look beyond the missteps and see it too.
I'm forever reminded by my senior year. $1,200 is what I needed to graduate. One of our board members, Dr. Rhett Jackson, he was on campus and handed me an envelope. And it wasn't one check, it was several checks from his Sunday school class. And he told them about this young man at Claflin University who just needed a chance. I'm living testimony of why you should always look to help somebody if you can. We need that chance.
He says he's just trying to give others that chance. Our thanks to Morgan for that.